Hello, speedrunning fans, and welcome back to episode 4 of the PlayStation 4 speedrun for Stranded Deep. Right now, I'm just going to check out the cartographer and see what needs to happen and what's left to do. There's still two more islands to explore, and two more boss fights to beat. We're going to try and get the second boss fight out of the way, which would be the Megalodon. As you previously saw me fight the giant eel, Abiba, in one of the last videos, I was wondering in that video where the name Abiba comes from. So I looked it up with that convenient cell phone in my hand, which has all of Earth's knowledge into it, but people mostly use it to post selfies. So what the phone in my hand told me was that the name Abiba is it comes from around Fiji, Polynesia area. The name represents a mythological eel that is supposed to protect either a lake or a part of the ocean. So if let's say a fisherman went to go and fish that part of a lake or part of the ocean, that the great Abiba would, I guess perhaps maybe like harm the fishermen or give them a warning to stay out of that area. So I guess Abiba is like the Bigfoot of the ocean. He's out there to protect all the other woodland creatures, almost like Sonic the Hedgehog, but not blue. So as this video starts, you can see that the weather is raining, and despite that, my SPF is very bad. My cooking skill is still 0. So I think I'm just going to wait in the shelter for a little bit. I was going to get my SPS up, and then I realized there was no point in that because it's raining. So I've gone into the water just to try and hunt some sardines. I missed that one a couple times. Just trying to get my hunting skill up, and if I can get the hunting skill up, then it'll make those next 2 boss fights I have a little bit easier. Not a lot of sardines in there. On a typical playthrough of Stranded Deep, I would only ever hunt the sardines, mainly because they're really close to shore. There's little to no risk to catching them with a fishing spear, and you can just pile up a lot of them. Each sardine counts as 1 meat, so you could catch 20 of them in maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and that'll give you food for 3 or 4 days, as long as you do meat stacking. So you build the fire, you put 4 pieces of small meat on top of the fire, and then you light the fire, and this just helps save resources. And see, I tried to go on top of the rocks there, see if I could perhaps access some eggs, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to get on top of the rocks on this island. At a bit of a loss for what to do at the moment. I don't want to do a Megalodon battle in a storm because it's going to be really difficult to see. And at the time of the day, if I travel out to where the Megalodon is supposed to be, it's going to be nighttime when I get there, and so I will still not be able to see. I commented in the last video that maybe I could just put a lantern on top of the dead whale that the Megalodon is feeding off of, but I just don't think that would actually work out very well. It would also the light would be obscured by the whale itself. So maybe if this is the luckiest. How did I miss that shot? How did I miss both shots? And he just flew away. That's the luckiest seagull I've ever seen. So I think if I want to improve on this speed run, then I'm going to have to find a way to do boss fights in the dark, which just means taking bigger risks. I think the best boss fights to do in the dark would maybe be a Biba, because I could put a lantern on the part of the ship where I'm going to hide out for the fight, and that'll hopefully increase the brightness enough that I'll really be able to see him. Or maybe Luska, the giant squid, just because the buoy that Luska has is already lit up. But with a strategy that I'm going to use to fight Luska, that might actually work against me. I'll have to run some tests. I did have some time on the weekend to run a couple tests, and what I discovered was that you cannot cook a potato, and you can only drink from the coconut once. I think you can actually take 2 coconut sips before he's going to get diarrhea. So maybe I should try that in the future. It's one of those underwater baby hogs there. And right now I'm just going to try and run around and get my hunting skill back up. Again, sometimes I feel like I should definitely be hitting the objects, and I just miss by such a narrow margin. Thinking about the Great Abaya and the fact that Stranded Deep put a mythological creature into the game made me think that if Stranded Deep 2 were to be in British Columbia, and the more I think of this, the more I convince myself that Stranded Deep 2 should be in British Columbia, Canada. At least the very northern part of British Columbia. With the fact that you can have mythological creatures, you could add in Ogopogo, which is British Columbia's version of the Loch Ness Sea Monster. You could also add in I saw the developers talking about how they wanted different biomes, and again, this is why British Columbia would be maybe a good place for this. If you go too northern from British Columbia, you are going to find that you're going to end up in the Arctic. So this would change you from a somewhat tropical climate, and if you go far enough north, you'll end up in an Arctic climate. And this could see your character having to hunt specific animals to make new clothes just so that you could survive the Arctic temperatures. It would completely change the survival aspect from being a beach desert into a snow desert. And it could also allow you to introduce a new boss, which could be a narwhal. That could be interesting if you get gored by the giant tusk of a narwhal. And the sun is just starting to set here, and I'm just trying to go around and see if there's anything I need. I'm gonna have to figure out the exact direction. Oh, that tripped me out for a second there. That little hog just moved the corrugated steel. It just kind of came up by itself there. So I need to make sure that I'm going to be facing the right direction. My character at this point also needs to sleep. I don't want to go into a boss battle and my guy's, maybe he has poor health, maybe he needs to sleep on the way there, and that could ruin my ability to use his quick running or quick swimming. Pick up some coconut husks there, eat that. Looks like my guy's pretty much all packed up and ready to go. Definitely hold on to the compass, it's gonna need that. I found the corrugated container ships, I've seen people make bases out of those corrugated walls. I just can't imagine the type of effort and the monstrosity of a boat that you need to create to take that stuff with you. I'm wishing that this island had a few more plants on it that my character could have eaten. I also noticed that in when I did the boss battle against Abaiba, I actually have an air tank in my hotkey, which I never used. My plan was to use that air tank for the Megalodon fight. which is coming up. So hopefully I don't forget. And hopefully I don't get bit, because, I mean, like you saw in the first boss battle against Aviva, things did not go the way that I was expecting them to, and in the future I'm going to need to figure out some better strategies as to how to deal with Aviva. I think at this point I have pretty much all of the ropes that I need for the end game, so you see that is pretty much set up. I'm going to use the ropes or the lashings to create coconut flasks, and that will fill up the 10 pieces of water that is needed. 10 units of water. He also needs 10 units of food. The 10 units of food is also going to come from coconuts. And all those coconuts I'll have to collect on the last 2 islands. It looked like in the cartographer that the last 2 islands were small islands. So that will help with not being bitten by snakes. I'll still have to maybe worry about sharks. I'm still missing 1 gas canister, so I still have to go investigate some of the shipwrecks. The more I think about Stranded Deep 2, the more I like the idea of having a boss battle on an island. My guy's just going to sleep right there. He'll wake up, and once he wakes up, we'll get the supplies ready and head off to go and fight the Megalodon. Probably tear down this shelter as well and take the lashing. He's not coming back here, and I can always use that lashing for some more coconut flasks. So if you could do a boss battle on land, that means you don't just have to do Ogopogo as a mythical creature. You would have an island where you have to fight something that's maybe not King Kong. I think that might be a bit too ridiculous, but maybe a monkey. Maybe a monkey. Definitely a monkey, some sort of ape. You could go to an island where there's like some apes that you have to fight. Maybe there's like a silverback gorilla that's somehow mysteriously ended up on the island. Like you put the thing that you want on the island, you put out your idea, and then you create the backstory for it later. You know, maybe it was a carnival cruise that got shipwrecked there. Who knows? But so I'm going to switch up the islands a little bit more, because I would really like to see different types of enemies on the islands, where it's not just the poisonous snakes, giant crabs, and the hogs, animals that aren't. I was going to say animals that aren't very threatening, but they've certainly threatened my character's life in this playthrough. I'm just going to chalk that up to making. Just can't get on the raft here. It's like slowly floating away, and I just can't get on it. There he goes. I'm going to chalk up all those mistakes to just do the speed run and not really paying attention too much, not being cautious enough. You see that from that last container that the end game is set up pretty well. I have potatoes that I need. I have the planks that I need. I think I might be 1 plank short. I think I just realized that I was going into the wrong direction there, so I'm gonna have to check the compass and start heading out in the right direction. I've tried all types of different strategies for the Megalodon boss battle over the years. The murder hole strategy definitely works, but it takes a long time. I've also seen a strategy where people are trying to wedge themselves in between the boat that's usually there and the whale carcass. I'm stuck on the rocks at the moment. There's a very steep drop off the side. It just goes from beach right to ocean. Alright, so we have just started day 4. Felt like that last day on the island was a bit of a waste of time, so there's maybe some improvement that could be made in a future speed run. There's a hammerhead chasing me now. See, that's exactly why I didn't want to go into the water there and fix my boat too much. If I could have got that gas canister earlier, then I could have cooked the gas can. I could have made the gas overnight, and then potentially done the Megalodon boss battle. Spent less time on the next island I have to go to, and then just gone directly to uh, the Luska boss battle, and that would have really just set me up for the end of the game. So after the 2 boss battles, I mean, all I have left is setting up the end game, which is just making the fuel. And once the fuel is made, I just have to get to the island and end it. Like, there's really nothing else that I'm worried about at this point. It's just I need to get a gas canister. If I don't get a gas canister, then the whole run is going to be for naught. I do not want to have to go to another island to search shipwrecks to find a gas canister, as I could potentially move the speedrun forward by another day or 2. My goal is anything under 10 days. I think it's doable. Definitely in this run, I think there are areas where I could have saved some time a little bit. I saw the game just glitched a little bit there, so that's how you can tell I went from one loading zone to another loading zone. And I think I can actually see the spawn point for the Megalodon in the water now, which came in really far ahead of schedule for where I was being able to, where I was planning to be able to see it by. So that draw distance had an incredible upgrade there. The only thing that really makes the boss battle with Megalodon challenging is that the Megalodon is the only boss that attacks you before you attack it. And I don't exactly remember the distance in which the Megalodon is going to start to attack you. So this creates a situation where I'm going to have to park my boat farther away, get all of my supplies ready, and then swim into the Megalodon. I think right there I realize it's maybe still a little bit too far away. The text prompt that says Megalodon had not come up yet, so I could probably get a little bit closer. The issue here is that if I run out of spears, it's going to be hard to get back to my boat. Perhaps I should have done this on another angle. I did a couple attempts before where I did successfully get the boat right up to the whale, and I got on top of the whale, and I placed my extra spear crates on top of the whale carcass, and I think I only got hit by the shark once. He didn't even manage to successfully knock me off of the whale carcass, so that worked out. It's just I'm not confident with my ability to get out of the water and on top of something. As you've seen, I tend to just kind of jump up and down in the water. Maybe in Stranded Deep 2 you'll be able to craft a small ladder to put on your boat, or how some of the shipwrecks that stick out of the water have that yellow bar on them, and you can just grab that yellow bar and pull yourself up. It would be really nice if I could have something like that on a ship. That could really help me a lot in just trying to get out of the water. See, I took my breath boost there, which I had saved the Ajuga plant for. I have a air tank in a hotkey, and it's going to allow me to carry the maximum amount of spears. And I'm going to try really hard not to talk about random things while we do this boss battle. One thing I am going to point out right now is you can see that the golden hour lighting is starting to kick in, and this is actually going to make this the most rare time I've ever fought the Megalodon, because that lighting is just beautiful. So far things are going well, and the Megalodon is acting like any other shark in the game. If you hit him with a spear, he just swims away from you. Breath boost is holding up really well, and so far this battle's going. I got a piece of me there, but I just managed to get out of the way. It looked more of a bump than a bite. Why am I out of the water? Oh, jeez. You didn't hear me swear. That didn't happen. I missed that spear, and he just, why am I out of the water? I brought the air tank with me specifically so this would not happen, and I guess just in the heat of the moment, I pressed the wrong button or spaced out. Definitely going to have to work on those nerves a little bit for another playthrough. You can run away from a snake. You can't run away from the Megalodon. So far it's going good, and I'm taking him down pretty easily. Beautiful. So I think I got attacked twice there, but I think they were only bumps. That lighting is just so perfect. Yeah, my boat is pretty far away. I tried to show my wife one time, and she was out here, and I was like, hey, look, I'm going to do the... I can't get onto the boat. I was trying to show my wife the Megalodon battle. She came out right at the right moment where I was about to start the Megalodon battle, and she hadn't seen it before. And then her very first response is, "It's not very big." No, I guess not. And I went down a little bit of a Megalodon rabbit hole, trying to. That would be a very large rabbit hole. I was trying to see if I could find any sort of Megalodon evidence, and I mean, it's the internet, so you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You can see a fin in an oil rigging camera. Oh, who knows what that is? There's supposedly a photo from the Nazis that shows a giant fin. Well, the Nazis had really good propaganda, so I don't know if I'm going to believe that either. I mean, I guess it's plausible. And any species on Earth is capable of genetic mutation, which will cause giganticism. So you could have giant anything. I mean, you could have a giant goldfish. You could have a giant puppy dog. Even when they genetically created those, I think they're ligers, half lions and half tigers. They're massive. I think they get up to 800 pounds, so about 300 pounds heavier than a regular tiger. You can even get giganticism in humans. Everybody's favorite giant, Andre the Giant. Reminds me, does anybody want a peanut? No? Fine. There's a little loading glitch. I think I'm pretty happy with how the Megalodon battle went. Uh, I didn't take too much damage, and I think I made pretty easy and fast work out of them. And that lighting was just gorgeous. I don't think I've ever had that happen on console before. I wish that golden hour lighting could be almost like every single day, like it is in real life. It's twice a day, and that's the time when all the photographers are going to be out. It just like it makes the water so crystal clear, like you can see so perfectly. Something I think I'm actually going to screw that up when I get to this island right here in front of me. Is that I have perfect lighting right now to go and check all of the shipwrecks, and for some reason I don't do it. Maybe for future speedruns I could just write down like a step-by-step just to keep me on track so I have a list of priorities of what I should be doing. And as we come up on this island, I notice that it is still day 4. Looks like there's a small wreck over on the left side. I think there's also one on the right side. You can I don't know how well you can see it here. I think the crates I have are blocking the view, but there's a small little mast sticking out of the water. This would have been the perfect time for me to go and check that, and for whatever reason I didn't do it. Which is a problem because I need, like, now that the Megalodon has died, this island, the only purpose of this island is shipwrecks. There's no box in there. I desperately need those boxes, the crates. Health is okay. He's a little bit injured from the bumps that the Megalodon gave me, but it's not too bad. So top priorities for this island are going to be checking the shipwrecks. Gonna need some coconuts. Definitely going to have to make some more spears, as Luska is going to take the most damage. I don't know exactly how many spears I'm going to need for Luska, but so far we've been doing okay. I had leftover spears from a Biba, and I had leftover spears from the Megalodon. I mean, the Megalodon was like throwing spears at a fish in a barrel. Okay. Alright, well this tiny wreck here has a crate. Hopefully there's something good in it. The sun is already starting to set, so I think now it seems maybe a bit too late for me to safely go and check out the other shipwreck over there. That means I'm going to have to spend a night on this island because I do not feel confident doing fighting Luska at night. Just have to get rid of the giant crab, a couple of boats. He's down. You see that our hunting skills definitely went up. So it only took maybe 3 or 4 jabs with a spear to kill that crab, where some of the other crabs have taken about 7 to 8 spears. I don't think his hunting skill increased a lot, but hopefully just enough. I think that whenever you kill one of the bosses, it should be pretty mandatory that the game puts your hunting skill up 1 level. Like just one full square for killing any boss. I'm just gonna go and get some lashings and continue to explore this island. Really not much on it. And it's going to be a little bit difficult now to plan out for how this is going to work. I like to get to the boss battles nice and early in the morning so I can maximize the lighting that I have available to me to actually be able to see the boss. and I really need that other gas can. So right now I'm just going to run around the island and pick up some supplies, coconuts, refined axe, really has worked out for quite a while. I think I've had it with me since at least day 2. Check the compass and see which direction that I'm going to have to be heading in for the boss battle against Luska. Not too worried there. I think I just stepped on a small crab. Now, looks like I'm having a bit of difficulties finding the correct direction that I'm going to have to head into in the morning. And there's just not much visibility from that compass right now. And a light in the top of that compass would really help, like the reflectiveness of the directions helps a little bit, but not overall. It could have been a little bit better. If you have any thoughts of where in the world you would like to see the next Stranded Deep 2 game, please leave them in the comments below. I don't live in British Columbia, Canada. I just know that it has the most diverse biome in Canada. I can see that the game is being developed by a studio out in Prague, Russia. So, maybe things are pretty diverse out there in Russia. And I know they certainly have a lot of snow. They have access to the Arctic, and they must also have some nice beaches as well. I found an Easter egg that I didn't know of before. Over the weekend, when I had a little bit of time, I went through some old save game files to try and find screenshots that I could take and use for thumbnail images for the YouTube videos. One thing that I found is in the opening plane crash sequence, there's a newspaper, and the newspaper has a headline on it that says, like, shark takes another victim. But if you look really hard, you'll see that the newspaper is actually from Hawaii. So that could indicate that our character was leaving from Hawaii when all of this happened. Maybe he just likes the Hawaiian news. It's a bit more relaxed than the regular news. Right here, my character's paused a little bit. Just another instance of I have to go to my front door. It's amazing how I don't have a lot of time to play Stranded Deep, but then when I do have time, someone always comes to my door. Maybe I'm just ordering too many things off of Amazon. I think the logical conclusion for the logical beginning for Stranded Deep 2 is that you'll just be the same character. And then it would almost have to be another plane crash, because how do you justify that your character ends up in the middle of nowhere? I guess it could be exciting if you're on like a boat, maybe not like a personal watercraft, maybe something larger, and the boat starts to sink, and you have to get off the boat and somehow find safety. That could be interesting. I had one of my friends send me a link to a video game that's being developed. It's a survival game about surviving the Titanic, and my immediate thought was, that's going to be really boring. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to push women and children out of the way so that you can get into a life raft and then hope that you're one of the life rafts that gets saved by, I think it's the Mayflower. I I can't see myself being interested enough to try that. Like the concept of the game doesn't do enough for me to even sound fun. The biggest aspect of surviving on the Titanic is fitting in with high society. Put your dinner forks on the outside and work your way in case you can't tell the difference between your fish fork and your caviar spoon. I don't know if there's a caviar spoon. I was going to mention something and then I realized it was not an appropriate thing to mention, so I'm just going to move on. I'll just leave that one in my mind, and I'm not going to share that one. Some of those golden nuggets are just for me. It makes me think about when I was a photographer, and sometimes the best things that you can take photographs of, you don't even take the photograph. It was just better to experience what was happening and be fully present in that moment than to ruin it and watch it through a screen. All right, more potatoes. I don't know if that's 8 potatoes or 9 potatoes now, but we got potatoes, no problem on this speed run. It's something I talked about with quite a few nature photographers. I didn't really do nature photography, but some of the other nature photographers I had spoken to had told me pretty much the same thing. Sometimes you see something that's so rare that there's no point in capturing it on camera. By the time that you get the viewfinder up to your face, the moment could have already passed, and it's something I wish I could see at more concerts. All these people, man, like social media, it's kind of turned them into bots, right? Like we just had Canada Day, as you guys just had the 4th of July, and people shot fireworks off in the sky. Lots of people showed up and they took the same video of it on their phone, and then they posted that same video to their social media, and everybody's just kind of doing the same thing, right? It's like when you go to a concert, everybody's filming the concert on their phone. The audio quality of their recording is going to be horrifically bad. They're going to post it to their social media, and 6 people are going to like it. And like, I don't do any social media. Other than my YouTube channel, I don't have anything. It just got to a point where I couldn't care anymore. Like, what are you really doing it for? Who are you posting these things for? The people in your life who are interested to know the things that you're doing, they're going to ask you in real life anyways. You don't have to pre-share what you did. They already know what you did, right? Like, you're going to say to your friend, "Hey man, did you see the photos that I took of this concert on Instagram?" And he's going to be like, "Yeah, I did see them because I was there." I don't know. Internet has changed so much in my lifetime. I wonder where it's going to go and where it's going to end up. Right? We're a long way away from MSN and ICQ, uh, other acronyms that people are not going to understand. BearShare, LimeWire, MySpace. Good times. I was at a skateboarding event last year, and one of the things that I'll never forget about this skateboarding event is that people were playing Pogs. Like, there was a full-blown Pog battle at this skateboarding event, just like happening off to the side. You have all these amazing pro skaters from all over the world. There's just some guys battling it out playing Pogs. I would have jumped in, but I forgot my slammers back in '94. I can't even talk about that. Like I talked about Pogs one time, and my wife is just like, when I was a kid, someone went into my locker and they stole my Pogs. Like, brutal. Kids, I don't know. Kids can be so mean to each other. I guess adults can be meaner. Should probably go back to talking about what I'm doing in this video game. Uh, so it looks like I'm just trying to make sure that my supplies are being set up for the end game. I need to make sure that I have the spears. It looks like I grabbed a decent amount of coconuts, and right now I'm turning those coconuts into coconut flasks, which is just going to take the coconut water and convert it into regular water. That way I can use those 10 units of water for the end game. Everything right now is set up to go really well, right? I just need to beat Luska, find that gas canister, which I have one shipwreck on this island to check, and I think on the other island that I have to go to, it's another small island, so presumably another 3 shipwrecks. The Luska boss, but I mean, Luska has the most health out of any of the other bosses in the game. And during one of my other speed runs where I was definitely on track to beat 10 days, I was playing on permadeath. It's because, like, if you die during a speed run, that's going to kill the speed run anyways. And as usual, I don't know, maybe I was just being too cocky, thinking I was too good at this game. I was expecting that nothing's going to happen to me. I have a foolproof strategy, except for when it doesn't work. And so I was on par. I was under 10 days. I just had to do Luska. I had a bandage on me. Luska, got me in her beak and dragged me underwater, chomped on me a little bit, and I thought, well, it's not going to be too much of a problem. And then I died, and that didn't work out. That did not work out for me. So that's what started. One of the reasons that this speed run started was that I know I can do under 10 days. Like, I think right now we're on day 4. When the sun comes up, it's going to be day 5, at least the beginning of day 5. Again, such a waste of time. If I had that gas canister, I could already be cooking, and then I could potentially skip that entire last island that I have to go to. Just take a longer sail right to the exit. I picked up an extra gas canister. I picked up an extra air tank there. And thinking back about the Megalodon battle, I must have pressed X and just jumped out of the water. I guess I did that twice, not even... I would have had to press up on the D-pad to pull out the air tank, and then I would have had to press R2 on the trigger. Shoot off a flare gun there and get some nice red lighting. I've seen places online that said that you could use the flare gun to shoot underwater. I don't believe flare guns would work like that, and I don't think that has ever actually worked on console. There might have been a point in time where it did. Maybe I just never experienced that. For the most part, the flare guns tend to be pretty useless for me. It's another flashlight. Jeez. I almost have enough flashlights to start a rave. And check the compass to make sure that I'm going to be going out in the right direction. I don't know what to I know there's still one more shipwreck on this island. It's just a matter of should I check it in the dark, which I don't want to do, or should I wait till morning? I think right now my son is getting a little bit fussy. I think he's awake. Yeah. Alright, let's just check the cartographer and make sure that I am where I'm supposed to be. Luska's in front of me. After Luska, there's the final island and then the way out. He got me with the baby fake out. I'm going back in. Sometimes toddlers will be completely asleep and then they'll just sit up with their eyes closed and then just lay down and go back to sleep. I don't know why it happens, but he got me with the fake out. I used to be one of those people that was like, I don't want kids and whatever, and now that I have one, it's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Don't be one of those people who's like, I don't want to have kids. You don't know what you're missing. It's the greatest thing you could ever do in your life. It's the greatest experience you'll ever have. Well, it's feeling a little bit risky now. Man, this gives me anxiety. Like, you can just see, like, the tip of that shipwreck sticking out of the water. Even if the shark is in there, I think I just kind of have to go for it. Let's go, boys. There it is. There's that gas canister. We can do it. It's only day 4. It's like day 4 going into day 5. Everything is set up. We just need to kill that giant, disgusting, dirty squid. I heard he smells like seafood. And then we can end this one. What an insane... That was the baby luck right there, right? Like... What would have been in that box if I didn't save the game, right? Would it still been a gas can? Every time you save the game, the items inside the boxes, like, change. That was the exact stroke of luck right there that I needed. You just have to keep everything good. As long as nothing goes wrong in the bass bottle with Luska. See right there, you can see I planned ahead and I actually put the bandage into my hotkey slot. I still have a pippy plant on me, and I'm not going to need to take that. There's not going to be snakes on the other islands. I'm going to just have to get my crates ready and get out of this place. Maybe wait for the sunlight to come up a little bit more. My traveling at nighttime has been a little bit hit or miss. Hopefully I have enough spears. I always like to have some refined spears for these battles, but going through all the drops that I had in this game, I got almost no leather at all. I did, in a test that I managed to do on the weekend, just through spawning in new games over and over again, I was able to generate a world where the starting island had that giant tanker ship right beside it. And so I went through it and I investigated it, and I got almost absolutely nothing useful. Like a couple of lanterns and one gas canister out of, like, I don't know, 15 crates. I've heard that the console version of the game is the hardest version of the game, but I really have no idea. I'm pretty sure the last time I played a game on computer, it was Command and Conquer, and it was probably like 1996. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that my original game console was the original Nintendo, the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I think the earliest photograph I have of myself playing video games was from when I was 3 years old. I had the original Game Boy, and I had Super Mario Land. So it's been a while that I've been into the pixels. That looks like it's going to be the end. The double fake out turned into a triple fake out. Baby's awake. So I only have one more video part left to record for you, and then we're going to see what happens in the ending of this speed run.